Hello and welcome to GTO Coach and Go. I'm Jim Delleman with Group Travel Odyssey, and I want to thank you for joining us once again today. Before we get started with today's topic or topics, because we have several things we're going to be covering today, I do want to remind you to make sure to hit the subscribe button that's down here and also ring the bell, and that will notify you anytime that we have new content on our YouTube page. If you are also watching us on LinkedIn, thank you for joining us there. You can follow us on LinkedIn at Group Travel Odyssey. So without further ado, I'm going to bring back to our screen our network engineer, Corey Vries, and Corey's going to take us through several different updates and things like that we have from, from hotel instructions, from community company manager dashboard, help desk requests. There's a lot of stuff that we're going to cover today. So Corey, go ahead and get us started.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Jim, and thanks for having me back. I always love being on the show. So I have 4 things that I wanted to go over real quick today. A couple of them are reminders. A couple of them are brand new, and one of them is a function that we've just added in that I think y'all are going to like. I'm going to go ahead and just get started by sharing my screen, especially since this always takes me a minute because I never know what I'm doing. But here we go. All right, I hope everybody can see my screen anyway.
And we can.
Excellent. So I've had a lot of people ask me some questions about our IT help desk. And everyone has access, everyone on the system has access to our help desk. It should be one of the apps in the My Apps, if it's not one of the tabs across the top. And it's super useful because if you need something done or a question asked, you can go here, put in a new request, and we'll get it. And then hopefully fix your problem. And most of you all know to go there, and what we're looking at now is the home screen for you. It'll say, welcome to the Group Travel Odyssey Help Desk, and if you need a new request, press the new IT request. Now, I want you to know none of this is new or different. When I do that, I get the same page that you do, where you fill in your information. The one thing I did want to mention to you is this requested by sometimes is overlooked. And I'm going to tell you that it's really not a huge error if you forget the requested by. It should only give you as a choice. So, like, for instance, it only gives me. I can't put in a help desk request for someone else. And it's okay if you skip it. What happens is you don't get the notifications when your help desk moves along the pipeline. So you have to actually keep checking back as opposed to getting an email. If you're not getting emails when a help desk request gets completed or moved into another level, then you need to let me know, maybe fill out a help desk request, because we want to make sure that that happens. It'll only happen when you select you as the requested by. I'll still know who put it in if you don't, but you won't get the notifications when I change it. So that's one thing I just wanted to go over real quick. Now, the other thing I wanted to make mention is some of you ask me questions about statuses of your help desk requests that you put in a while back, but you haven't heard anything back on. You can check what the status of a request is. Now, when I click on the IT request status right here to see the status of an old request, we're going to see the ones that I've put in. And of course, I have many. And I have things that are completed. It'll show me all of them. And basically what happens is it tells you exactly the status of every thing that you've put into help desk in order. So it'll have the assigned ones, the on hold ones, the completed ones, the has question ones. If you have one that has a question, that means I've sent a question over to you. You need to go into edit mode and fill out that or fill some more information in for me based on the question that I've asked you. And then I will see it, and then I can move on with the project. But this is where you would check to see the status of your requests. Luckily, when I put in a request, I'm usually the one who has to do them, so most of mine are completed. But if you have one that's sitting in there for a long time, please don't hesitate to bring it to our attention. We all miss things at some point in time, and I am happy to say, oh, gosh, this got sort of buried and we want to do it. Or it could be that it's on hold because of something that we did or that we're waiting on, or some functionality that we're creating, or that you've given us a great idea, but we don't have a solution yet. And we want to be able to tell you all those things. So please check on the status of your old requests using that. The other thing I wanted to mention, and this is another thing that's always been there, which is you can search the online training guide. And when you click on that, what's funny is you could search them, but in reality, you could just scroll down them. What's the question? What's the deal with this trade show appointment management? I saw that on a Coach and Go, but I forgot about it. There's literally a video and a link to an example on that topic, on what is GTO, if you wanted to know. Scrolling down, how do I add a quote? Right? Very basic information that you may just have forgotten about. Let's say you're an ops person, but now you have to put a trip together. You've sort of forgotten the steps. By all means, come and sort of rifle through these and see which ones you want. Or if you have a topic that you want, type it in. How do I add a quote? How do I get the pricing for a quote? Let's see, what else? What are some tips for searching for suppliers and trip products? Because you use that for quotes. That's available for you as well. And I wanted to just sort of review over that real quick, because we have some people that put in some help desk requests and then wonder how they can tell whether or not something is done. And now you can click on that and see all your statuses. I wanted to make mention that another way to put in a help desk request, but you may not know that it's a help desk request, is in Supplier Manager. When you request a price or a product or a supplier, when you request those things, it's actually putting in a help desk request. It's just from Supplier Manager that you're doing it. That means that if you want to know the status of that request, you can come to help desk and open up your requests, and see where it is in the process. Our accuracy gurus are fantastic about keeping notes. So if it's one of those things where you're like, I don't understand why it's taking so long, you could actually go to your requests, look at what that product, and find out that Sierra has said that the national sales manager has been let go due to COVID, and they are in the middle of getting their prices around for December of 21. And so you could see the status there if you're wondering, I don't understand why I don't have this back. A lot of times those notes are going to be there already for you to see. Also, when you're adding a supplier request, if you have a website, that is very beneficial to us. An address, a phone number, those contacts, that's all great. But do understand that if you've already gone to the website to find that information, give us the website too. That really helps us out and really streamlines the process along, because one of the greatest things about GTO is that supplier database, and we keep it seriously cleaned up, and everything gets double checked, everything gets triple checked, and so that website actually helps us double check all those things before it goes live in the system. Also, just so you know how the process works, when you put in a request for a supplier or a product, we reach out to that supplier to grab all their prices. So once you request, like let's say you were going to request a Disney ticket, the 3-day park hopper ticket. I'll just tell you that we're going to go to Disney and say, send us every price you got. And so if you're saying, oh, well, now I need the 3-day premium ticket too, we're going to go ahead and get that. You don't need to put in another request for that, because once you've requested a supplier or any product or price under that supplier, we're reaching out to the supplier for every price they'll possibly give us. Every menu, every ticket, every workshop, because we want all of those things, and we're not just going to request, one of them, I guess is what I'm saying. So just a thought for you as you're dealing with help desk. It's a pretty simple thing to go through, but a lot of times we forget it's there, and it can be your very best friend when you have requests in.
And also, just real quick, if you do have all of those separate menus and stuff, put them in one request. You don't have to send a separate request for each price type that you're wanting. So once you send us a request for something, we're on it. We're working on it. And in order to check on it, go in, as Corey talked about, and check on it. No need to send us another request, because that just goes to basically underneath all the rest of them. So it's going to take us a while to get to that one and clear it out too. So make sure you're double checking on the ones that you've already entered.
Yeah, thanks, Jim. All right, so a new feature. This is especially important for owners, presidents, managers, and that's our GTO company dashboard. We want you to manage your own information in Group Travel Odyssey, and part of that is information that is specific to your company, that's being used throughout the system. So we've designed a company manager that has a dashboard on it that allows you to do that. So right now we're looking at Group Travel Odyssey's demo dashboard, and when yours is set up and you have told us who in the company is going to manage that information, then it will set up and look a lot like this. It's very simple. It'll have your logo in the center, and then it will have 3 items, and as we include more, we'll have more items. But basically, it tells you to click in some place to update your information. So for instance, you decided after COVID to have a grand redesign of your branding. So you have a new logo. You don't want the old logo anymore. You can update your logo. All you have to do is click here. It will take you to a page where you can now upload your logo. At the moment, the resolution is up to you, and so I have not put in an actual resolution, but do keep reading that, so that when I do have resolutions that work better and not better, I'm going to put them up there so you can see them. But you could actually drop the logo right into there, hit save and close, and your logo will be updated. Now, I will tell you that updating your logo will not actually change the logo on the dashboard, but it will start that process. So it won't be instantaneous when you update your logo, but it will start the process of updating it across the system, and it will take a little while. Your WeTravel information. So when I click here, it's going to take me to a page where I can now pretty much edit all my WeTravel information. So my account email there, it's going to ask me a ton of questions about your trip. There are questions that are required for every trip. There are ones that are not required but may be added to trips. There are ones that will be marked as required if you want them to be required. Basically, all the information that you would give to WeTravel, you would put here, so that when you send a trip over to WeTravel, all that information auto-populates for you when you get there, and you don't have to make any changes. And so this information is now available for you in the company manager homepage. And then lastly on this dashboard, you're going to see terms and conditions. So when I click here, it's going to ask me a lot of your legal questions. Your payments due date and balance due, your travel protection, your group cancellation, your responsibility and liability, individual cancellation, force majeure, hold harmless, confidentiality, all those blurbs that you want on documents to make sure that everybody is on the same page. This is where you're going to put that information. And you get to update it as you see fit, whenever you see fit. So you don't have to worry about letting us know to update it on the proposal language or anything like that. You literally can change all of that here, and then we will start to get to work to getting it on the proposal immediately after. So this is a great place to take care of that information. There is two other things, and they're a little bit hidden, so I'm going to show you where they are. They're not hidden on purpose, but what they are is there's some tabs down here at the bottom. Many of you are aware that we now have pricing levels for margin in sales, and group and owners, managers, someone at your company is designated to being able to update those pricing levels. And if you click on that tab, it will show you the pricing levels. We just have some demo ones in here for group experience with the valid start and end dates. And you can add your new pricing levels right to this point in time. You have the ability to manage those right here, so that sales will then be able to choose them in their trips. Kind of a nice feature, and it will show you which ones are valid or coming up. And lastly, there's the currency conversion tab. So when I click on it, there's not going to be any currency conversions here, but this is where you would add what conversions you would like for your currencies in sales. So if you have a trip that's coming from Europe, so you are pricing everything out in dollars here to the United States. You're pricing everything out in dollars, but you need to give it to them in euros. You would add that what conversion you want to have happen in sales here. If you deal strictly in rubles, then you can put in that currency conversion here, and you can change it at any time. Just know that you'll be adding a currency conversion. You won't want to change the one that you put in because someone may have used it, but you can add that currency conversion so that it can be done automatically upon selection over in Sales Manager. And you can manage those right here as well. So sort of a one-stop shop for your company's information that you want populated across the system. Jim, any questions? Do you get any questions about this?
I think we're good. I think this is fantastic because, especially with the terms and conditions, with the environment we've been living in for the past 18 months, we know that force majeure and a lot of that language changes every couple of months. So for them to be able to have the ability to go in and update that language whenever they need it and have it right here at their fingertips, that's going to be quite a time saver for them. That's great for our users.
Yeah, I think so, and lets you manage your own information. And I'm assuming since we need a business manager of the like, anybody listening should contact you to find out who that person is, or to tell us who that person is we need to add to this dashboard.
Right. Absolutely.
Excellent. All right, then I'm going to move on to my next one. So in Sales Manager on a trip, we've done a little bit of rearranging, and we've had some people who get a little confused justly get confused on the add products page. What used to happen was it would list all your things down, all your products down, plus their full price and their per person price, and it was really difficult to see hotel and air costs because they were always way over to the right, and they were hard to see. They were hard to understand how they fit into the process. So in order to ease that out and to make this table a little bit easier to read by spreading things out, we've added a hotel information section to the top, like we did with the airline schedule, which now includes the price of the airline. Now, we don't have an airline on this trip, but that's fine. When you have flight schedules, it will tell you the airline quote cost per person on that trip. So you can see that the airline quote came over. If you have an airline in your quote requests and you sent it over to be added to your trip products, there is not a price here, then it didn't get added correctly, and we'll have to figure out where the mistake was made and re-add it. The same thing with hotel. So now you can see the cost per person across the page here for your hotel. It will tell you what hotel it was you've chosen, your room night quote, your tax rate, and then the price of those per kind of room. So on this trip, a quad person is paying $114.75 for the hotel room, each one. The reason this is important as well is because the numbers that get added together to create a package price, this is one of them, which is the quad room cost. Another one is the per person cost, and that's what this table now adds up for you. This is your per person cost here. And you don't have to be confused about which and where and who and how. This is your per person cost. This is your hotel cost. And those two are part of the equation to create a package price. And now you'll be able to see that a little easier. Many of you were probably going to say, well, now I got to scroll down a little bit farther to do my my schedule. Well, I have two answers for that. One is you can scroll down if you want. I will also say that if you hit the products button, it will take you to that table, and you are able to just add products from here, right? I mean, you don't have to continually scroll down. If you add products from here, you don't have to. They're all right here for you. And then one last thing I wanted to make mention about when you add products. For those of you that add products and then do your schedule, and this has been a feature of GTO for a while, which is under the Create Proposal tab, there actually is a table that goes through your schedule and what's going to show up on your proposal. So this is your proposal language right here. So this is how your proposal, it's not going to look like this, but this is the order in which they are and the words that are going to be used on it. And you can grid edit this and see everything very quickly right here on the Create Proposal tab. So there are three ways to create the schedule here, whatever works best for you. By all means, you use that, right? We want to make it as easy as possible, but still have all the functionality. So again, you can create your itinerary here. You can create your itinerary down here, or you can create your itinerary on the Add Products page.
Hey, Corey.
Yeah.
Quick question, just because I know this comes up quite frequently. On that Add Products page, if you could go back to that, if you scroll down a little bit, I see that the hotels are still listed there. Scroll up a little bit. Right there. What is that per person cost that's right there?
Gotcha. Okay. So right, you know that we've taken the hotel room stuff out and we've pushed it to a different spot. So you're like, well, then why is there a hotel cost at all? That cost, the cost per person, is the cost of your bus driver, your tour director, any other expenses like that, maybe a breakfast that you may have added to the hotel. Those sorts of things get added into the per person cost, not the hotel room cost, because they are the same regardless of whether you are in a quad room, a triple room, a double room, or a single room. So the only time that will ever be zero is when you don't have a driver, you don't have a tour director, and you have no other incidental room charges, per day maid gratuity, porridge charges, breakfast. No comps. Right. So just be aware that that's what that number is. That's exactly right. So this is paying for well, you have a motor coach, so we know we have a driver at least. Then that's what that's going for.
Great.
Yeah. So then, and this is sort of the new thing. This trip has been pushed over to Trip Manager. I know that because I can go to the Trip Manager straight from this trip. I don't need to do that though, because I've already opened it up. So here we are in Trip Manager, the same test trip. And you can see that we've gone down and we've started booking this trip. So we're at guarantee final guest count and request booking for a couple, confirm booking at another. And we've had some people ask about how to keep track of cancellations. I mean, I know that none of us want cancellations, but in the world we live in, that it just sort of happens. And so we've got to go through the process of canceling something. And understanding that is a necessity, we've come up with a process to cancel out products so you know where you are in the process. the first way that you can do it is, let's say they just simply do not want to go to the International Spy Museum. I don't know why. It's a cool museum, but let's say for some reason you just have to lose $13 from this trip. So you're going to cancel out the International Spy Museum. What you're going to do is you're going to go into edit mode into that product. And there is actually a checkbox that's called cancel this product. When I check that, and I save and close. When I scroll down, actually we're going to go back to the trip, I'll tell you. Well, let's go back to the trip so we can see it there. You're going to see that this now has a button that says cancel the booking. So you've set it up to be canceled, and now you need to cancel it. So and I'm going to actually go through the cancel process at another stage, but understand that if you just want to cancel a single item, you go to the item, you check the box that says cancel booking, and then when you come back to this page, the button will say cancel booking, and it will go to a cancel booking page. I'm going to actually reset that one so that I can, and by the way, if they decide that you want to do it, they want to do it, all you have to do is uncheck the box and save and close. And then it's back to its request or confirm booking stage. But let's say the trip itself cancels. Now, the last thing you want to do is go through these one by one and put in that checkbox. What you want to do then is to think of it in terms of the trip. And what you do is you click here to change the operation status. If you're not using operation statuses, I highly recommend them. This one is in contracting stage because we're doing the contracting right now, but this unfortunately isn't going because Test Tripper couldn't get his act together and none of his kids paid. So we're going to change the operation status of this trip, and we're going to set it to cancel. Now, when we do that, and remember, don't set it to canceled. Make sure it's to cancel because you're actually doing that process. And in fact, it will change the status up here to cancel. You can run reports of all trips that are in the to cancel stage so that you can see which ones you are in the process of canceling. And hopefully soon, in another GTO happening. There it goes. Okay. I just moved too fast for my own good. So basically, you have to wait a second for the system to say, oh, you're canceling this? Well, let me go through and put to cancel on all your products. So now all your products will say to or cancel booking. So it changes the status of every one of them at the same time. Now what I can do is I can go in to any one of them, like let's say Hard Rock, click the cancel booking button. And it's going to tell me, we didn't choose a related contact for this, but there's going to be a related contact. It's group sales over there. Cancel this product's already been checked. You don't have to worry about that. But we do have a stock email that we're in the process of working on. If I choose it right now, it's going to open up. We would like to cancel the reservation. And we're getting some more specific language with that. But soon it will be right. So that you're able to just send that. That you'll just be able to send that email right from here. The cancellation date is the date that you needed to have canceled by. I'm going to change that so that there's not a lot of confusion there. So if you're after that date, you'll know that you're after the regular cancellation date. The date canceled is the day you canceled it. So we canceled it today, and we're going to say send an email. And we'll put a little sad face because we're sad that it's not going. And when we save and close, by the way, whenever you do something and you don't get to send that email, it never likes it. It never, ever likes it.
So true.
But what's going to happen now is the status is going to be set to canceled. So once you do that process, and you've given it a date that you've canceled it, you've sent that email, it's now set to canceled. Once and you want to go through them all. Though some of them you may not have booked, it is nice to have it to make sure you open it to make sure you didn't. So I happen to know that we did not book Buca di Beppo. It was still in the request booking status. But you want to double check that kind of thing because you don't want to let that pass by. So I would just go in the cancel booking, right? And I have put, by the way, the information down below that you would see on a request booking, or actually it's the confirm booking tab. So for instance, we've booked no one, right? This is our double check. We've booked no one, there's no notes, there's no date confirmed, there's nothing here, right? So all I really need to do is put today as the cancellation date. Actually, I'll save and go back to trip. And then what happens is it's going to be canceled as well. I didn't have to do anything, but it's now marked as canceled, so that once I scan down and see all my things are canceled, I can go to the change the operation status, set it to canceled, and then you're done, right? And you can do a search for any trip that's still in that cancel booking stage, or that to cancel stage, so that you can go back and double check it again and again until you make sure all of them are canceled.
That's a really good organizational feature. It helps all of our users become even more organized, even though none of us want to have to cancel out a trip. At least you know that you've covered all of your bases, and you're not going to end up with some random fee from a supplier that you kind of forgot that you had booked for the trip. So this takes them through that, so that will not happen.
Exactly right. And because Trip Manager is set up to keep track of your bookings, then this is a really nice way to do it. Plus, let me say to you that if you are using Trip Tasks, call me and we can talk about how to add cancellation tasks to a canceled, so that you have a reminder to go cancel some things. That's okay, but you have to be using the Trip Tasks feature in order to make that happen.
Excellent. And if all of you have questions about any of this information that was covered, contact myself or Corey. Our email addresses are appearing right now. Jim@gtonetwork.com or Corey@gtonetwork.com. So you can feel free to contact us anytime. We'll be more than happy to walk you through these processes if you can't quite get something out of what we're discussing actually on the screen. But we'll be more than happy to take you through this as part of our community. We always make sure that we're giving you the information that you need to work more efficiently, and that you have all of the information about any tweaks and updates that we're doing to the system. So that way, when they are rolled out, you have the information already.
Absolutely. That's what we're here for.
And there are just a few more minutes for questions. If you have any questions, please make sure to let us know. And also wanted to remind you that next week, we're not having a GTO Coach and Go on Thursday, but Joanne and I are joining forces on Tuesday because we're going to be at the NTA Travel Exchange. So we're going to be doing a live stream from the convention floor at NTA. We're going to be speaking to a lot of our friends in the industry and finding out their feedback on NTA and getting some more information on what's happening in the industry. This is one of the first face-to-face conferences that we've been to since the beginning of the pandemic. So a lot of us are really excited to actually be able to be in the same room as a lot of our coworkers and our industry friends. So we look forward to seeing you at NTA for those of you who are going to be there. Also, again, if you want to tune in to see that live stream, you can join us either on YouTube or on LinkedIn Tuesday at 2 p.m. So we're going to be live from NTA. Again, there will not be a Thursday Coach and Go next week, nor will there be one the week after because it's Thanksgiving. So we will be coming back with our Thursday Coach and Goes the week after Thanksgiving, and we'll have more information. We'll probably have a lot more information to share with you at that point because things happen rather quickly in the GTO world. So we're probably going to have quite a bit of information that we're going to be sharing. Again, thank you all for joining us. For those of you who are watching us after and we're no longer live, again, remember you can contact us via email, jim@gtonetwork.com or corey@gtonetwork.com, and we can help you through any of these processes. Thank you so much for joining us today, Corey. We always love having you, and I'm sure we'll see you back in a couple weeks.
It's always great. I look forward to it.
Excellent. And to all of our users out there, to all of our GTO community, again, thank you for being a part of our community. You are very important to us. Please continue giving us that feedback, and we will continue tweaking this system and making it the best system that you can have to help you build your business. So thank you again for joining us, and have a fantastic day.